finish up on the live stream that we just did. So, what did we just witness right now? We just witnessed Jake Paul beating Chavez Jr. That's going to be on the back end of what we're going to talk about. But first, the first thing that we're going to talk about is the championship win by Ilia Topuria. Now the second belt that he won in this particular weight class. We're going to get to the entire fight card right now. Okay? So everybody that is on the live stream that I have been on, tap over here on this side because yeah, we're going to transfer over on this side and get it cracking. Okay, so everybody on that side of the fence, thank you for tapping in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one, inshallah. And everybody that's here, stay because yeah, we're gonna cover these fights right now. So I'll see you in the next stream right now that I'm already starting. So head on over to the next stream over right now because we're gonna cover all of these fights from top to bottom. So here we go. MMA needs if you want to find predictions, news, and everything that deals with MMA. Shout outs to Kyrie of El-Kheer MMA, Sacramento, California represent. That's right, Kyrie. I appreciate you, my nigga. You can't be heard. You was talking that shit. That's right, bro. All right. So. All right. So let's get some thumbnails going for this one. All right. So we're about to get all right. So that's off right now. Okay. So Omar Tamim, what the F just happened? Man, you tell me, man. You tell me what just happened right now. Ilia Topuria just laid out Charles Oliveira right now. We're gonna talk about it in just a second. Yeah, toxic gameplays. I'm disgusted, man. Chavez looks like he wasn't allowed to punch in round 9. Yeah, yeah, that was a bit strange, wasn't it? You know, very strange indeed. Uh, okay, hold on just a second. Just trying to get some what do you call it? Okay, hold on. We're just getting the thumbnails going right now. So please bear in mind with me, okay? As I try to get these thumbnails going. Brett Okamoto, he's got his thing going. I'm trying to find a picture for this particular fight. So, okay, there's a, all right, that's perfect. That's perfect. All right, we got one. Okay, so bear with me, okay? In about 1 minute or so, we're gonna go over the entire fight. Man, this guy Ilya came out of nowhere for F's sakes. Yeah, man, he definitely did. He definitely did. We're gonna talk about all of that right now. We're just you know, starting to get the cooking going right now. So yeah, just bear with me for a second, okay? All right. So okay, so here we go. Sorry, guys, I'm doing a little thumbnail for this one right here. So just so I can get this one cracking right here. Yeah, that's the fight right there. Is Patty and what's his name? Yeah, I hate MVP promotions, man. Yeah, I feel you on that. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna get cooking in just a second, okay? Please bear with me. I'm so sorry. Hold on a second here. Let me get this going right here. Okay. Okay. Get this going. Boom. Boom. On the live stream. Boom. Boom. All right. Sorry, making the thumbnail right now. You know, I can make thumbnails really fast because I don't really have a super elaborate uh like system or anything like that. But yeah. Okay, so there we go. Post UFC 317. Okay, so post UFC 317. All right, we got the thumbnail going. All right, sorry y'all. Um all right, man. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. So yeah, who is next for Charles? Is it going to be Armin Sarukian, or what? All right. So okay, so the show is going to start. All right, so here we go. In five, four, three, two, and one. All right. So there it is. UFC 317 is in the books. Let's talk about it. Let's find out what is the reason behind Ilia Topuria's win. How did he get that win? And how did I predict that this win was going to happen? Now, look, Ilia Topuria predicted that he was going to get a first round knockout. I didn't believe him. I honestly did not believe him whatsoever. I could not believe it. The reason why I couldn't believe it is because, look, it seemed improbable that he was going to pull something like that off. I didn't think that he was going to pull it off, quite honestly. Okay, I really didn't think that he was going to pull it off. Now, there's multitudes of reasons why I didn't think he was going to pull it off. I thought that he had a chance of doing so. I didn't think that he was going to do it rather quickly the way that he did. Now, he managed to finish him off rather quickly. Okay, so uh, what does that say about Ilia Topuria? Well, I tell you what that says about Ilia Topuria. That shows that Ilia Topuria is absolutely an elite fighter. And many people did not think so, at least not from the very beginning. You know what? A lot of people knew that Ilia Topuria was a dominant and not only a dominant, but a very well-rounded fighter, okay, and a very elite fighter. Now, with Paddy Pimblett, on the other hand, they really didn't believe that from the very beginning. Now, why is that? The reason why they didn't believe that from the very beginning was because Paddy Pimblett was a bit of a slacker earlier in his career, but something changed along the lines of him fighting Bobby Green, of him fighting Tony Ferguson. Something snapped and changed, right? Michael Chandler, after he got that win against Michael Chandler, everything started to change, right? He realized, you know what? I am now fighting in the upper echelons of the 155 division. I can no longer mess about, okay? And the fact that you can no longer mess about, you got to continue training all year round. Look at Ilia Topuria. He doesn't miss a beat. He constantly trains. He's constantly in there. And he's disciplined in a way that Patty isn't, in a way that Patty gains weight so much in between the round. And by the way, speaking of gaining weight and weight, how about the fact that people said that he didn't really make that weight at the weigh-ins, right? A little controversy there or whatever, right? But there's always some kind of controversy going on in the weigh-ins of things, right? So that's always just a reality of the situation. So with that in mind, okay, Patty Pimblett, it could potentially be next, right? Now, why is Patty Pimblett next out of everybody else, right? There's obviously some people in the mix that deserve to be there. There's Armin Sarukian that many people say, you know what? He deserves to be there. He deserves to go out there and fight for the title. He deserves that shot. Now, why didn't he get it? Well, the reason why he didn't get it is because, well, here's Patty Pimblett, who's a popular fighter. The popularity of Patty Pimblett is going to override whatever it is that he's got going on. Okay? So the fact that Patty Pimblett is popular, he's improving, and not only that, he has this historic rivalry going on with Patty Pimblett. I think that right there is enough justification for them to get this fight going. Okay, now, why is this fight interesting? Okay, I'm going to show you a history behind Patty Pimblett and Topuria, street fighting in London. Okay, let me show you. Okay, wait. This is what happened just earlier right now, just so you guys can, kind of get a bit of some perspective. Okay, so a little shove there, a little shove. That's where it all ended. Let me show you where it all started. Okay, this right here, 3 years ago. Imagine this. This is 3 years ago. Okay. Okay, this is 3 years ago. I want you to keep this in mind. And it's you could notice that it's still the same guys that was with Patty Pimblett from back in the days. Yeah, still the same similar guys and whatnot. But yeah, man, let's talk about it, right? Uh, this is the next best matchup possible. But you know what? In reality, Ilia Topuria has so much choices right now. Okay, that's the next thing that I'm going to talk about right now. Okay, the choices that Ilia Topuria has. Okay. Okay. So the possible choices of Topuria. Choices of Topuria matchup wise. You got Patty, you got Islam, or you got Armin Sarukian, a guy who got passed up in in their title shot. He got passed up in a title shot. There's Patty right there saying, "Yeah, come on now, lad." Now imagine, right? What a great set of choices that he has going on. He can fight Islam not only for defending the 155 belt, but also for going for the 170 belt if Islam wins, right? He fights Patty. There's history behind him. And then there's Armin Sarukian, who many people believe deserves to be the number one contender. he says that I don't get knocked out, that I'll finish you. And then there it is. As soon as he says, I'm going to finish you, he shoves him. He shoves him as soon as he says that. Yeah, so that's a good point by Joe. He says, yeah, that's irrelevant right now. What's important is recognizing that you're the champion, and so there it is. He said, all right, let's effing go. He said, all right, so there's Ilya right now. Okay. So, all right, man. The way that the fight went, right? I told you guys, Charles Oliveira makes a lot of mistakes, okay? And these mistakes, I think, can lead him to what we just saw right now. You know what I mean? It's wow, yeah, it doesn't do him any good, man. It doesn't do him any good. Yeah, Armin Sarukian is no, he was the backup fighter, by the way, Armin Sarukian. All right, so let's get to the co-main event of the evening, okay? Let's get to the co-main event of the evening. Let's take a look at the stats for the co-main event of the evening. Vincent, Islam versus Ilya, who's going to win? Well, I'm going to have to go with Islam Makhachev on that one, right? The reason why, okay, you know what? Let's elaborate on the Ilia Topuria win right now, right? Who's surprised that Ilia Topuria won? I'm not. I'm not surprised. I told you guys that Charles is susceptible to a lot of shots. You know what? Here's another crazy thing about this, right? Ilia Topuria has a good chin. Did you know that between Charles and Ilia Topuria gets hit way more than Charles? Okay, let's put that in proper perspective before the fight. It is Ilia Topuria that gets hit more than Charles. Why? Because Ilia Topuria puts himself in the line of danger. You can't do that with Islam. Big Ank says hello. Big Ank MMA. Hello, my man. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. I was on the live stream earlier. I decided I was going to open and do another live stream right now. I figured the reason why I wanted to do this live stream is because I want to cover the fights. Usually people make videos about the recap. I'm going to do the recap live as it's happening so I can make videos about other things. So same with Armin. Big Ink says, I think Patty could give a hard fight to Ilya if he takes him down. That is true. JoshuaVan getting the title shot. We're going to talk about that. Pantoja gets a third round submission against Kai Kara France, right? So, okay, we'll talk about that right now. I'll put it in the description down below. So in 30 seconds, that's what we are going to talk about. Okay, so 19 minutes into the live stream. Okay, so Pantoja beats Kai Kara France. Now who's next? Who is next after Pantoja beats Kai Kara France? Is it going to be JoshuaVan? I would say so. Okay, so Punisher 566 says, sup, man, that Ilya knockout was crazy. He did say he would do it in the first round. Everybody better believe him for now, even if he says he can fly. Also, Tracy Cortez won, but no twerk celebration. Okay, Vincent said, you should also consider that Ilya's punches like hell. If any punch connects to Islam's chin, then for sure Islam goes KO. Possibly. 5-6 Punisher says, sup, Big Ank MMA. Big Ank MMA says, hey, Punisher, JoshuaVan has to be next. And then with the matchup after that, Cape versus Kai France next. Okay. And then Punisher has the death sign. Alariza says, people are saying Patty going to beat Ilya. How? He is getting KO faster than Charles. Big Ank MMA says, Patty never been slept in the UFC. And you know what they say? Scousas don't get knocked out. Okay, Jared Gordon couldn't do it. Yeah, so you're right. You are Muslim. Correct. I am. Yes, Vincent. Shout out to you, Vincent. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I think you're the first. This is the first time that I've seen you here before. Welcome to the chat. Everybody give Vincent a warm welcome. Big Ink MMA says Patty is better than Charles when it comes to the ground game. Patty is better than Charles when it comes to the ground game. You know what? Maybe currently that is true, but not on paper, and only on paper because of the accumulation of accomplishments that Charles has made as being the number one submission uh, person in I think he has the most submissions in the UFC, so that puts him somewhere. But Pantoja, how about the submission that he had on Kai Kara France? I mean, he took Kai Kara France's back, choked him, and that was all she wrote from there. With that fight, you had three takedowns on Pantoja. Kai couldn't stuff any of them, right? Couldn't stop him. I mean, he did a few times, did defend him, but the striking was just too high of a volume for Pantoja. Mixed it up um, with the takedowns, and yeah, man, Kai Kara France had no chance. And you know what? You're right. I like that comment where he should go fight Manel Cap next. Him and Manel Cap would be a good fight, but JoshuaVan, I think, is the most deserving man to go up next. Now, I think he has a chance now to beat, I believe, yeah, he has a chance to beat the record of John Jones. He's 23 years old right now. He'll be 24 by October 10th. Okay, by October 10th, he'll be 24. So if he can get a fight before then, he can beat his record. So I think JoshuaVan is up next, man. The flyweight division is looking really good right now, and JoshuaVan is that star in the flyweight division that we all need right now. So, all right. So, more on the flyweight title fight right now. With just a second. Let me see here. Yeah, Pantoja looked pretty much untouchable in this weight class right now, man. You know, there's something new about him, and I think the belt just elevates you. Punisher says, "No, I don't know about that. It's hard to say if Patty the Batty is better than Charles." You know what? Sometimes there's peaks and valleys in an athlete's life, right? I think the peak and valley that Charles Oliveira is in right now is a little bit different than that of Patty. See, this is Charles right now. This is Patty right now. You see what I'm saying? Like if Patty loses to, let's say, Ilia Topuria in their next fight, it could be a possibility that you'll see Patty fight. Yeah, fight Charles. I could see Charles fight Patty, and then that's where Charles is going to lose to Patty because this is where Patty is at, and this is where Charles is going. Patty is going this way, Charles is going that way. They're just in two different sides of the coin right now in their career. Elariza says, Big Ink, did you just said Patty have better ground game? Charles is a black belt with the most subs in the UFC. Come on, man. Well, that's what I'm saying, Elariza. What I'm saying is that just because he has the accolades, it doesn't mean that it is right now. Because remember, this is Charles right here going up, and this is, I'm sorry, this is Charles right here going down, and this is Patty going up, right? So when you have this, you have sometimes a lopsided matchup in what would normally be an even matchup on any given day of their prime. Okay, so Vincent says only Dustin or Islam can save lightweight from Ilya's reign. Yeah, I don't know about Dustin. Maybe Islam, but Dustin. 5-6 Punisher says I would love to see Ilya versus Islam, the goat lover. Okay, a little crazy to say that. Patty won against a 39-year-old Chandler. Ilya is a KOing legend, back-to-back Armin or Justin should fight for the belt, not a bum like Patty. Well, there was at one point, I mentioned earlier in the stream, there was a point where many people thought that Patty is a bum, right? And so, you know what? Patty has evolved into a different athlete. He's evolved into this guy that I think, can elevate into a different fighter and also raise the game of his level. So I don't know if I would call Patty a bum. That fight got away. That fight got away. We needed it for real. We might just have it. Remember, there's the JDM fight. Islam is projected to win that one. More than likely, he's going to win it. And now the dilemma is going to be uh what is Ilya going to do? And what is Islam going to do? Is one going to move up? Is one going to move down? Will Topuria go for 3 belts, or will Islam go down and try to go for the second lightweight title reign and defeat Ilya Topuria, who was a double champ, which would have a Conor McGregor Khabib vibe out of it? Alariza says he is a bum compared to Justin and Armin. He is not a bum. He is good, but not championship good. Okay, well, I tell you what, we can find out if he's championship good. And the one reason that he's earned it is just based on the status, popularity, and notoriety that Patty has in comparison to anyone in the 155 division. Okay, so moving on to the next fight, we have JoshuaVan and Brandon Royval. Okay, that's the next fight that we're going to analyze right now as we move down to the cards. Okay, so let me get this on the description below right here. What is the time frame? Let's go with 27:30. Brandon. All right, so Brandon Royval versus JoshuaVan. JoshuaVan now has a chance to become the youngest champion ever. Okay, now he's 23 years old. He's going to be 24 in October. In order to do that, he needs to have a fight somewhere in the summertime, or maybe even a little bit after that. I don't know how many months John Jones wanted at 23 or 24 years old, I believe. No, I think it was 24 years old that John Jones won that. What age did John Jones win the belt? Age John Jones won the title. Okay. 23 years old. Okay, so yeah, I don't think he's going to take that record, but he can be up there with John Jones, right? John Jones exits. Next thing you know, he's right up there with John Jones as the top 2 youngest champions of all time. Now, it's a great possibility. Now, this fight, let me tell you, this fight was the fight of the night, in my opinion. They should give this fight the performance of the night, okay? Let's take a look at the what do you call it? The stats on this fight, okay? JoshuaVan versus Pantoja. So, no takedowns, right? I was surprised that Brandon Royval did not want to shoot takedowns in this fight. But guess what? It was a big mistake, because who was the most accurate between the two? There was a lot of shots being exchanged in this fight, but JoshuaVan advanced his cause in terms of getting the highest percentage. And then there's JoshuaVan right there facing off with Alexander Pantoja right afterwards. Yeah, he's getting the title shot next. But can he beat Pantoja? I'm very skeptical to find out if he can beat Pantoja. Okay, let me read some of these comments here real quick. He is a bum. Okay, not a championship round. 556 Punisher says, nah, Patty is a good fight and is interesting, but he gets a chance of Patty getting knocked out cold, and Ilya to prove to the Scousers indeed can get knocked out. Elariza says, even though Van was smaller fighter with less experience, he really shows up with a fabulous performance. I think him and Pantoja is going to be an awesome fight. Van just needs some time. He is 23 years old. Okay, I'm going to pin that comment right there, Alariza. Okay, because this is the point that I was trying to make in the first place, right? Nah, he ain't beating Pantoja. Let's keep it 100. 556 Punisher says. Tonight, I don't think he could beat Pantoja. But the next time they fight is not going to be tonight. It's going to be another night. And I need you to understand the vast improvements that Joshua Van can make in between a training camp. Okay, he's 23 years old. He absolutely can, beat him, but not today. Not the performance, not the version of Joshua Van that I saw. I need to see a little bit more wrestling. I need to see a little bit more high kicks, more body kicks. I need to see a little bit more submission attempts, threats of submissions in order to deal with somebody that is as high level and as well rounded as Pantoja. And that's the reason why he's a champion, is because of how well rounded he is. So Joshua Van has to keep up with that. So I agree. He can't beat him, but that's tonight. What about summertime? What about August? What if they do it in uh, Abu Dhabi in October card? What kind of Joshua Van are we going to see then? Maybe a different guy. But what we saw out of Joshua Van tonight, he was outgunned by somebody that was a little bit taller, but he survived based on the accuracy that he was able to pull off. Okay, so Beneil Dariush. Let's get to the Beneil Dariush fight. Okay, we're going to get through all of these fights, but I want to touch up on all these fights and then come right back to them. Okay, I'm going to give them each their own timestamp. So the next fight we're going to talk about is Beneil Dariush and Renato Moicano. Okay, so what timestamp are we going to put that in? In 30 seconds, we're going to get right into it. Okay, so 30 seconds. Beneil Dariush versus Moicano. Okay, so okay, decision. Okay. All right, so here it is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beneil Dariush. Dariush wins by a decision on this one. Okay. He says, I'd still pick Pantoja, but he keeps getting better. That's what I'm saying. But here's another thing, right? I thought Moicano was on the verge of getting better, right? I thought that him beating Benoit Saint Denis was indicative of how he was going to deal with Beneil Dariush. You want to know why Beneil Dariush won tonight? It is American mixed martial arts. What do I mean by that? You want to know why Moicano was able to run through uh, Benoit Saint Denis as easily as he did? Because let's face it, Benoit Saint Denis is not as highly advanced as these other American fighters who train in America Top Team, who train in King's MMA, where Beneil Dariush trains at. Right? When you train in an American gym, you know how to win fights. You know how to win by points. You know how to get from point A to point B. And it just so happens that Beneil Dariush is a very versatile and a very durable fighter at that, right? So let's take a look at the stats in this fight. 5 takedowns for Beneil Dariush. That wins fights. Takedowns wins fights. And he had it 5 out of 5. Moicano tried to have 3 takedown attempts, failed. But the percentage wise on the striking was more on Beneil Dariush's side, right? He was just getting off a little bit faster, just a little bit higher volume than that of Moicano. And that ultimately is what won him the fight. Chad Holmes says hi. How you doing, Chad Holmes? I hope you enjoyed the fight tonight. So moving on to the next fight, we got Felipe Lima taking on Payton Talbott. Okay, let's go with Payton Talbott versus. Okay, so let's put this on. Payton wins by decision. Okay. So we're gonna put that in the 36 minute mark. Okay. So 36-minute part. Okay. Next fight that we're going to talk about is Payton Talbott and Lima. So yeah, let's talk about it. This is supposed to be a really tough fight for Payton Talbott. So all right, here we go. Okay, so Payton Talbot defeats Felipe Lima. What did we see out of this fight? No takedowns on the part of Payton Talbot, although there were a lot of great scrambling exchanges. Felipe Lima really pushed the wrestling on here, but that wasn't enough. Great striking on the part of Payton Talbot, by the way. Right? Ultimately, he won this fight. Great scrambles. Anything could have happened in this fight, but Payton Talbot won this one easily by decision, and that was all she wrote on that one. So moving on to the prelims, you had Jack Hermansson taking on Rodriguez. Okay, so let's talk about this one right here, right? Okay, so 37 minutes. Robocop KOs. Okay. So he KOs Jack Hermansson. All right. I didn't expect it to happen. I really didn't expect it to happen. That literally came out of nowhere. But you know what? When you look at Rodriguez, he's very strong and he knows how to use it in a striking advantage, right? There are guys that don't necessarily have to be world level strikers, but if they know how to hurt you, it's like you can kind of feel that energy in there. That's what Rodriguez sort of displayed, right? I mean, they had some good moments in the clinching exchanges, but ultimately, as soon as he dropped that hand, right? As soon as Jack Hermansson dropped that hand, he was able to get in there and land a bomb on him, and that was all she wrote. Okay, so the next fight after that is JoseDelgado versus HyderAmil. Okay, he knocks him out in the first round as well. Literally, with it just 20 seconds, 26 seconds into the first round, he knocks him out. JoseDelgado. All right. Okay, 39 minutes. We'll put that in 39 minutes into the live stream. Okay. So all right. So okay. So JoseDelgado KOs a HyderAmil. Look, man, I thought HyderAmil was going to win this one because I thought that, you know what, he was the guy that knows how to fight when there is a lot of decisions in the featherweight. I don't know, man. I didn't think this was gonna go to a finish, but I didn't think HyderAmil was the one that's gonna get finished. Look, it's just one of those situations where one guy got caught, and that was that. Right? Didn't really throw a lot of punches. It was very early in the fight. That's just what it was, and yeah, that's just the reality of what happened. Man, shout out to JoseDelgado for that knockout, man. You know, Tracy Cortez. Look, I didn't think that she was going to win this fight, but she did. Okay. Uh, Now, why did Tracy Cortez win this fight? I think the wrestling. The wrestling won it for Tracy Cortez, and that was really all there was to it, right? It was wrestling, and the ground exchanges was on her side. There were a good few scrambling positions that that Vivian got, but ultimately, yeah, it was the wrestling of Tracy Cortez that won that fight. So there's that. Okay. So all right. Okay. So next fight. What do we have here? Drizzy Goat says Ilya beat Volk Oliveira after Islam already finished them. You could say they were Islam's leftovers. That's a very good point, man. That's a very good point. How about that spinning back kick right there by Payton Talbott? Good spinning back kick from him, by the way. Okay, so what else? What else was there? Terrance McKenna gets a submission over Borshchev. Okay, let's get this right here. Okay, Terrance McKenna. All right, so Terrance McKenna submits Vyacheslav Borshchev, right? Um, not surprising. Not surprising. Once he got him, he shot in. He tried to counter after the shot. He went and got a north-south position, got a front lock, got a guillotine choke, and then mounted him from the guillotine choke and choked him. And the way Borchov was like panicking, he was just like he looked like he was doing a dance of some sort, like some folk, Chechnyan dance as he was getting submitted. It was wild, but nonetheless, great submission win by Terrance McKenna. Let's see here. What else here? So, okay, in the early prelims, the rest of the early prelims, we got Jacoby Smith submits Nico Price. Okay, so okay, so next one, submit 1 minute. Obey Juan Jacoby. Yeah, yeah. Obey Juan Jacoby. Yup. He got the submission on that one. Uh 317. Hold on. All right. So let's talk about Jacoby Smith submitting Price. Okay. I knew this was going to happen. Look, undefeated guy taking on somebody that got knocked out by Robbie Lawler's retirement fight. That was bound to happen. Okay. That was absolutely bound to happen. And the submission and by method of victory that he had gotten here, rear naked choke, right? He chokes him. I mean, he was trying to hand fight the situation. There was just nothing left for him there. Fresh Melon Juice says, has Dana announced John Jones coming back for Pantoja for the GOAT status yet? Oh man, here he goes again with that. So what else was the fight here? That was it. That was it. So then you had Gian Diaz gets the decision win over Alvin Hines, right? So okay, let's talk about that one right there. Okay, decision. debut. Okay, so yeah, Diniz gets a decision over Hines in his UFC debut. Right, a tough UFC debut, but nonetheless, a UFC debut is a UFC debut, and Diniz gets a decision over Alvin Hines. He was doing very good early on in the fight, right? He was doing fairly decent, but out of nowhere, Diniz just started taking control of the fight, right? He just started taking control of the fight. And let's take a look at the stats for this fight, okay? Let's take a look at the stats for this fight with the first fight of the evening, by the way, right? Okay, so he got one takedown, but the scrambling exchanges, I mean, was really on the side of Jonah Diniz. Also, his striking was just way better than Alvin. Obviously, this guy is a former K1 champion, or I'm not K1 contender. I'm not sure if he was champion, but he has a high experience in kickboxing, and it lended himself positively to that. Okay, so performance bonuses of the night. You had Robocop, JoshuaVan, and Topuria. Those were the performance bonuses tonight. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to put right there. So, U plus. Okay. Okay, so there it is. Those are the performance bonuses of the night. Okay, so there it is, right? That's basically the whole entire fight card that I just went over with you guys right now. Let's react to the press conference. Let's see if there's any press conferences going on right now that we can react to, because obviously there will be press conferences going on. Let's go check it out and let's react to them right now on the bonus round of this live stream. So here we go.
You guys ready to go?
$1 billion brands. Cutting edge innovation.
Okay, too much commercials going on here. Okay.
You elevate, right? Like that is it. He's in needs a Habib to really lift, which I guess is Islam.
Okay, so there's no one on the booth yet when it comes to the press conference. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wait on the press conference right now, and then we're gonna react to them. So okay, let's get to the Jake Paul fight. Let's do that right now. Okay, let's react to the Jake Paul fight and talk about that as we wait for the press conference. So right now, this portion of the live stream, we will talk about the Jake Paul fight.
You know, again, I would have preferred he did more at featherweight.
Jake Paul,
this is one
easy win versus Chavez or
fight Alex again. These would if he could find those, right? Like if he added 3, 4, 5 featherweight title defenses, that would work together. Or I'll just go fight Charles at the 11th figure and a guy can kill it immediately and get the second belt. And now I can fight Patty, who's very famous and very popular. And maybe he does get one more. Maybe he is on fight.
Okay, so okay, so 30 minutes into the live stream, we're going to talk about if Jake Paul's win versus Chavez was a struggle, was an easy win, or easy win versus Chavez, or struggle versus seasoned boxing pros. Okay, so that's what we're going to ask right now, right? Was that an easy win for Jake Paul, or is it that he struggles against seasoned boxing pros? Now, look, it is no secret that Chavez has not been disciplined over the years, right? And as a result of that, well, what you got is a shell of himself, a different version of that of a championship level fighter. But Jake struggled with him regardless. Jake struggled with Tommy Fury. So now they're talking about possibly giving Jake a title shot in the cruiserweight division. Does he deserve it? Does he deserve a title shot against somebody like Zordo? I don't know, man. I don't know if he deserves that shot, but I tell you what, he definitely is a big name. And who else is Zordo going to fight if you really think about it, right? Who is he going to fight? Is he going to fight anyone that has a big name, that has a serious name, that will, draw a crowd, will draw attention, will get him the kind of payday that he would get against other seasoned cruiserweights? I mean, Jake is the money man of the division right now, right? I mean, well, not the just a cruiserweight division, but all the boxing period, right? And they're talking about a title shot, according to the WBA. Okay, which is crazy, but it is what it is. That's what happens when you have money in the world of boxing. But yeah, man. I think, did Dana White go on yet? Let's see if Dana White had gone on yet. Let's see. Okay, so no one is up on stage as of yet. Okay, so Dana White. Okay, here's Dana White. He's on stage right now. Let's hear what he has to say. Okay, let's hear what Dana White has to say. All right, so Dana White is coming on stage right now.
Hey guys, the attendance was 19,800. It was sold out. The gate was 11.3 million.
Okay, so the gate was 11.3 million.
Performance of the night went to Rodriguez and Topuria.
So the fight of the night was with JoshuaVan and Royval. The performance bonuses was with Robocop and Ilia Topuria.
I thought you retired. I am now. In about an hour. Well, congrats and thanks for everything, Kevin. Thank you, brother.
Oh wow! So Kevin Iole is going to retire.
Do you think that he gives Islam a run for the money he is pound for pound right now? Yeah, it's interesting because he did exactly what he said he's going to do. He is an absolute complete fighter. Stand up is beautiful, round, grappling, everything. Yeah, this kid's a star. From a punching power standpoint, he knocks out Volkanovski, Holloway, and Oliveira. Three amazing fighters in a row. Is he the hardest hitter pound for pound that the UFC has ever had? He's on a great three-fight win streak for sure. All legends that he knocked out. I don't know where he sits pound for pound punching power, but moving up a weight class like that and doing what you say you're going to do in the first round and the way he did it is very impressive. From a standpoint,
so he's saying that it was very impressive.
This fight that he might turn into a star, the caliber of Ronda or George St. Pierre or somebody like that, with the look he has, the way he talks, and then of course the way he fights. Given the way this ended tonight against a fighter like Oliveira, do you think that he has the ability to take it to that kind of level? Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You obviously felt the energy in the building tonight. It was a big fight, and
Okay, so Kevin Iole retires. There it is.
What you're going to do and then do it the way that he did it is impressive. A couple other questions for me. Pantoja just seems like, what is he, 35 years old, and he's getting better at this stage, and you rarely see fighters do that. What does that say to you when you see a guy that is 35 and this late into his career?
Biz says, Van, too easy a fight for Pantoja. You know what? Look, it's hard for me to disagree with that, Biz, because there's a lot of improvements that Joshua Van needs to improve on. Really, there's a lot that he needs to work on, right? So naturally, yeah, I think you're right, man. I may have to agree with you on that.
figures, and basically going in the beginning of the third round, they had already, broke into the top 10 all time.
Pantoja is smart, Fresh Melon Juice says. Yeah, he definitely is, man. Man, shout out to Fresh Melon Juice. He's been with me all day, man. You know what I mean? Really standing tall with me, man. Shout out to you, man. All the credit to you for sticking with me right there, my man.
So those two are both going to do well tonight, and it's absolutely positively deserved.
And I know it's early, but how do you see a matchup between Pantoja and Van? I mean, you have Pantoja, the smart, wily veteran against this kid that's, also growing by leaps and bounds.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. Obviously, it's the fight to make right now.
Yeah, Ilya is the new face. Movies, his friend says. Yeah, I agree with that. Fresh Melon Juice says, take him out now like Mayweather did Canelo. Okay.
To come in on short notice and take on the number one guy in the world who was highly motivated to win that fight after the press conference the other day, where he said, "I feel like I'm the most disrespected fighter in the sport."
Wow, man. He went from 12 to 1. Rank number 12 to 1, JoshuaVan. That's quite impressive.
Ilya, after the fight, he called in Paddy Pimblett, brought him into the cage, and they had a face-off. Obviously, they've got a long history together. I know there's a lot of options on the table for Ilya, but when he shows that type of interest in the fight, does that make you want to make it?
Well, I don't know who the hell let him in there. That should have never happened. Let's start there. I was already back in my room where that would have never happened. But
yeah, Fresh Melon Juice. I don't know about that, man. I don't know if I believe that. Saying who you work for. I don't know if I believe that, but who knows, man? Crazier things have happened. So
he would obviously love to fight Spain, but he doesn't want to do it in the middle of the night that you have to do with European pay-per-views. But given what a star he is and the following that he has, do you start trying to move things around? I know you said we want to go to Spain. You start thinking, how can we get him?
Yeah, it's reverse bluff, he says. Are you able to hear? Let me know, guys, if you're able to hear Dana White's voice right now. Let me know in the comment section if you're able to hear his voice.
2 years ago, he's debuting in the UFC. He's 8-1 now. He takes out the number one contender. What have you thought of his rise?
Well, tonight we had some people here who were first time ever to UFC events, and one of the things that was said to me a lot tonight is how educated the fan base is. As far as the fights go and everything else. And if you saw the pop that those two got tonight, you would have thought that they were both huge superstars. So, yeah, the kid's done all the right things, and tonight.
Fresh Melon says, not interested unless Pantoja gets Francis or John. Yeah, of course. Of course, man. Yeah.
Giving guys opportunities.
Can you give us the story on why you were willing to allow him in the cage? We don't matchmake on Saturday night, right? But it's clear that's the fight. Why did you say, hey, yeah, let's go ahead and do a face-off?
Well, he's the number one contender, and I just said that.
Yeah, he's the number one contender. That's why he allowed him in the cage.
Obviously, the fans, wanted to. My thing with Topuria is his wife and kid are in the octagon. That's not the fight that it's just.
It was fun.
It shouldn't happen.
It was fun to watch.
Wow. That's not really what we do. Give a shit if it's fun to watch or not. It's just that shouldn't happen. Plus, he wins a second title in a higher division, which it was a bad call by whoever the hell let him in there.
The last thing I wanted to ask you about International Fight Week, obviously super busy. BJJ, power slap, little touch.
All right, so now they're asking about BJJ and power slap and all that. Yeah, Paddy looked very big. He did, but you also got to think maybe he was wearing heels on his shoes. That could have probably factored in as well.
This whole week is everything fighting. But, we did a takeover in a couple of cities. We have enough sports properties now where, we could make a whole week out of it. So we'll see.
Wow, yeah, they said they have enough sports properties now that they can make a whole week out of it.
They think it was a sauna. So we don't know yet. We still don't know exactly, but all signs point to the sauna. Some wiring, something went wrong and it caught on fire and did some real damage. We're just trying to figure out how bad the damage is and more than anything, how long is it going to take to fix?
Could it be a total rebuild, or is it still
I don't think it's a total rebuild.
Okay, they're talking about a sauna that got broken in the PI center.
The metal beams or the concrete or something. I don't know anything about this shit, but yeah.
Whether you're a contractor or a master technician, Harbor Freight understands your job depends upon reliable tools.
On your previous answer about this week, beyond fight week, international fight week, but this week in Las Vegas, it was a decade ago. June was a little bit of a slower month, but it started last Sunday. We've had nothing but eyes on Las Vegas, whether it's WNBA with Caitlin Clark, it's groundbreaking A Stadium, in international fight week, Canelo crosses. Las Vegas is easily taking over a sports bet.
Oh yeah, we got the Canelo Crawford coming up.
Yeah, I think it's always made sense that if sports organizations could get past all the gambling stuff, which they have, this is a serious sports town. And I always say this: if there's an away game, everybody's going to go to Vegas for an away game. It's just you can come in on depending on what it is, you come in 2 or 3 days early and make a whole.
Okay,
trip
so they're
on it.
talking about
Every
they're just
sport
talking
on
about a
this
bunch of Vegas stuff going on.
Everything's coming to Vegas. Done with me?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
JoseDelgado and Terrance McKinney, they won fights within a minute. They finished their opponents. Not to take more money out of your pockets, but are they going to get taken care of?
Yeah, I mean, we always, I tell you who won the, the bonuses, but everybody that does well.
Okay. I think Crawford might win. I think so too. Fresh melon juice. I got Crawford winning that one as well.
Fan experience. He was jumping into the crowd. Do you think he is one of the UFC's next biggest stars?
We'll see. We'll see. Obviously, next fight's big, and it's on Noche, and people are excited before it. I'm excited for it, so we'll see how it plays out. Thank you.
Yep. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Is there a medical update on Jack Hermanson? Because that was a pretty.
Yeah, that was an.
Oh yeah, the Jack Hermanson knockout was very bad.
And over here in the middle, is there any headway on Islam Makhachev and Jack Del-Mal if that title fight's going to get booked soon?
I'll let you know when we get it done.
And it just kind of piggyback.
All right, so they're asking about the Jack Della Maddalena and the fight. Is he okay? They said, yeah, he's okay. They're having the doctors check on him.
He wouldn't give the opportunity for Islam to fight for his belt again. Is that something you'd bypass? Because that seems like such a big fight to me.
I mean, this is all talk.
Speculative.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
But I imagine that's a fight you guys would want to make at some point. I mean, the
Sure.
They're asking if Islam and Topuria is a match they'd like to make at some point. They're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
But they have to talk about it on Tuesday.
International fight week specifically, obviously, it's the Super Bowl for the UFC. Can you just talk about, everything from the convention, Power Slap, how you felt like, I guess.
Man, they had a convention for Power Slap, which was crazy and weird.
That the UFC has been doing for the fans and everything else all week.
What is your question?
Like, did your vision for International Fight Week as UFC?
Yeah, Jake Paul won. He did. Yeah. He won that one. And Holly Holmes did as well. Yeah, I forgot to even cover that. But, just wanted to concentrate on Jake Paul above all else. But, yeah, she also won. Looked great. I believe she boxed in there with some wrestling shoes, which was quite weird. But, yeah, it happens.
It was all good.
Obviously, the UFC keeps growing. Are there any big things that you could tease that we might see at next International Fight Week, whether it be at the convention or anything else?
What's the question?
Are there any new things that you have in the works?
They're asking if there are any new things in the works that the UFC would like to do.
We try to evolve and get better.
That the UFC would like to do.
Not right here this second. It's not even over yet. We're just wrapping up. But yes, we will definitely do some different. Who the hell knows what I'll be into by next year?
Hello, Dana. From Marca in Spain. Can I ask in Spanish for? Quería preguntarte por la figura de Topuria. Tengo los números de cómo de seguida ha sido la pelea. Ha sido a las 6 de la mañana en España y los números son equiparables a un partido del Real Madrid, el mejor club del mundo, un partido de Rafa Nadal, uno de los mejores atletas de la historia del deporte, una carrera de...
Yeah, they're asking something in Spanish.
¿Qué significa eso para vosotros, para la UFC, que sea un atleta tan importante, una superestrella en España y a nivel mundial? Gracias.
Just wanted to ask about this personality and the status of Iole Topuria, because we have the numbers right now. This fight was at 6 a.m. in Spain, and they had numbers comparable to Real Madrid, greatest club in the world, Rafa Nadal, a great start in tennis, even Formula One races. How do you feel about the way that Ilya has taken things by storm?
So he's saying he got the numbers from.
Yeah,
They're good. Well, if it did those kind of numbers, obviously I'm thrilled. And yeah, we know that he's big over there, and that people care. And like I said earlier, you know, tonight, if you look at what he's accomplished in his last 3 fights, tonight was like his big coming out party. He moved up to win another title and did it in spectacular fashion. I mean, you couldn't do it any better. Like some Ali shit, saying I'm going to knock him out in the first round, and viciously knocks him out in the first round.
Yeah, he knocked him out in the first round easily.
Was his big night. We have a star in our hands.
Sí, esos números son verdad. Entonces, bueno, me imagino por todo lo que ha hecho, además de la manera como lo hizo, bueno, como está haciendo, además de hoy fue la fiesta que dijo, acá estoy, llegué, porque básicamente cosas como Ali dijo lo que va a hacer y lo hizo tal cual. Creo que tenemos una gran estrella en nuestras manos.
Two questions, Dana from Cadena Cope from Spain. Volkanovski cow, Holloway cow, Oliveira cow, Ilia Topuria, the best fighter in the world. Does he deserve the number 1 pound for pound?
They're asking if Ilya is the best fighter in the world.
The number 1 pound for pound is. Oh, you? No, you. If I did, John Jones would be the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world.
If I did, it would be Ilia Topuria.
Wow, he said if it was me, I would say John Jones is the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world. So he's like playing into the joke of saying, you know what, I know that you guys know that I glazed John Jones, so I'm gonna make fun of the situation. Kind of brilliant on Dana's part to, do that.
There you go. You do it, so good luck.
And Spain, Dana.
Yeah.
I know it depends on the new TV contract, but Ilia Topuria wants to fight from his country. All our country wants Ilia Topuria to fight there. So do you think 2026 Spain is going to be a reality and UFC is going to go there?
Fresh Melon Juice says if Ilya beats Armin, I'll fold and say he's really good. Until then, he's luck box. LOL. Movies' his friend says I am the only one that doesn't think Paddy deserves the next shot. His last 3 opponents have been on a 13-fight losing streak. Okay, that's an argument to make, but here's the thing. I don't think they want to give it to Armin Sarukian because they were really upset of dropping out at UFC 311 in the Islam Makhachev fight. So in a way, they kind of want to punish him for it.
It is the goal. It's what we're I mean, we've been trying to get into Spain for a while here. But yeah, hopefully, that's what I want to do. We'll see if we can get it done.
Between Bernabeu or Arena?
I don't know. See what's available and let's see what we can figure out.
The promise going to Spain?
What's that? How come it's always like a fucking war zone when we do press conferences out here? I've never even seen this many helicopters in Las Vegas. What is it? Straight tours?
Is that a promise go to Spain or not?
Is what going to Spain?
A promise?
Is it a promise? You're promising you're going to?
Yeah. I promise I'm going everywhere. I was just in Azerbaijan, Baku. Yes, we're definitely going to Spain. It's just a matter of when.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Dana, over here.
Yeah.
Olympic gold medalist Stevenson has been recently training with John Jones and said himself he plans on joining the UFC. Is that someone you're interested in seeing?
So the question, what did Gable Stevenson and John Jones
He's training with John Jones. He wants to come to the UFC.
John Jones is training? Holy shit.
Oh, wow. Dana White just dissed John Jones right now. He's like, John Jones is training? Holy shit. Oh, man. He said that's news to me. Wow.
Show in Thailand or something? I have no idea, sir. Well, I don't know. Yeah.
And then also,
I didn't know John was training.
And also,
oh, man. What a diss. He straight up played John with that one.
One of the best cards of all time.
Thank you.
Dana, down here to you right again. Since you brought him up down here.
Yeah.
Since you brought up John. I don't know if you.
I didn't bring John up either.
Oh, okay, fair enough. He gave you a layup. I don't know. Did you see his series of tweets over the last few days inferring that basically he told you guys that he was retired last November and that your efforts to make the Aspinall fight were basically futile?
It's not true.
Okay.
Is that what you wanted to ask me?
Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. But what do you make of him coming out and saying, staying contrary to what you said there?
I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. Believe who you want to believe.
I don't know how to respond here, but no, thank you.
Yeah.
We know a lot of the
Dana said, I'm telling you the truth. Believe who you want to believe. He said that we've had this fight going. But I don't know why John would even lie and say that they didn't. So maybe that's just face saving mechanism for John Jones, perhaps. But
talent nowadays stems from the contender season. You were seen mentioning a couple of days ago that we perhaps could see double the episodes on the new TV deal with contender series. So when you talk about that, do you envision maybe extending the current run we're on contender series, or maybe doing like another season like in the winter and spring, and then the fall one that we have right now?
We talking about contender?
Yeah.
Extending it?
Yeah, because you said we could perhaps see maybe double the amount of contender series we've seen under the new TV deal.
Let me tell you what about the contender series. I do it 365 days a year if there was enough talent. So as long as there's a big enough talent pool, I'll do it every week forever. I love it. Yep.
Right in the middle, Dana.
What's that?
Straight back in the middle.
Hi.
Hi there. You had Canelo and Terrance Crawford here for a press conference this week. What's it been like for you to get to see that fight come to fruition? Given your boxing background, a lot of people don't understand, like, that you've come from boxing.
Yeah.
Armin made weight. They should give him the title fight. You know what? That makes sense. Yeah. But they were only going to give him the title fight if he was going to serve as the backup. Patty versus Justin, winner gets Ilya. Well, they may just fast track Patty on that one.
It's awesome. I mean, like I said, leading up to, the press conference and at the press conference, for this to be my first fight to remote is incredible. I just think that there was always some weird shit from the press, like, does this fight and does Terrance Crawford's 19-0 in title fights, and he's undefeated, and it's gonna be a fun fight. And the only reason this fight's even happening is because of the stuff that they're doing in Saudi Arabia and the kind of money that's flying around right now. So anybody who's even remotely a boxing fan should be.
Yeah, Patty versus Jake Paul in a slap fight. If you give Jake Paul the shot, man, he'll take Patty out relatively quickly.
Straight turkey. So yeah, it's fun, it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to it.
Hi, Dan. Was about to ask in Spanish. Topuria siempre habla de que es un peleador que representa la nueva generación de peleadores en la UFC. Obviamente han pasado muchas leyendas por la compañía, pero parece que es algo único, un peleador que nunca hemos visto, que domina todas las salidas del juego. Y él siempre lo dice, ¿no? Que es un peleador único. ¿Compartes tú esa opinión? Porque al final tiene 28 años, parece que aún no entra en su prime físico. ¿Dónde le ves al techo a Ilia Topuria?
Topuria has said that he represents a new generation of MMA fighters, and many legendary fighters have been around the block. What this seems to be a guy who's complete, is getting the results. He's only 28 years old. Where do you rank him right now in that situation? Meaning, is he really coming? Like, you'd like to know your opinion as the face of the new generation of MMA.
Yeah, like I said tonight, I mean, he solidified himself tonight as a superstar. If you look at the three knockouts that he's coming off over absolute legends, I would have to agree with him.
Creo que estoy de acuerdo con él porque se ha puesto en una posición muy sólida la manera como ha hecho. Mira contra tres leyendas, contra quien ha peleado y con knockouts. O sea, creo que estoy de acuerdo con él.
Thank you.
Yeah. With Armin Sarukian weighing in as the backup, is he getting back in the good graces with you and the?
Well, it's not about getting back in the good graces. It's about, the guy had the opportunity to fight for a title and didn't make weight. You couldn't fuck up anything worse than that. But he proved, now that he's not fighting for the title, he was here as a backup fighter. He made weight, so it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Okay, well, there you go. Armin Sarukian. He says that's the best step in the right direction. He came in there, was a team player. He made weight, and that's all that you could really ask for in a guy.
In that division, Justin Gaethje said that if he doesn't get a shot that he'd be thinking about retiring, and that he's basically inferring that you guys owe him a favor for him stepping in for UFC 300. I just want your thoughts on that.
So that everybody has, their opinions on. Listen, if you're thinking about retiring, you know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I messaged him. Good. Okay, come on, fresh melon juice.
And he's been an exciting, fun fighter to have here in the UFC. But to say, hey, listen, unless you give me a title shot, I'm retiring. That's pretty wacky.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Masvidal was here tonight. Obviously, all want to see come back in the cage. You recently said that Cyril Gane, just as a correction, you said you got some unfinished business with Cyril Gane. Is Cyril Gane versus Masvidal the fight you want to make for the return of Masvidal?
Gone Aspinall,
When we figure it out, we'll let you guys know. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Take care.
One last one.
Every time I stay around for one more, it's a fucking disaster. What do you got? I can't wait to hear this. Every time I stay around for one more.
He says every time I stay.
What do you make of him as a prospect now?
Who did he ask about?
You just salvaged all the bad last questions there. It's a great one. Yeah, what an incredible fight. That one was looking like fight of the night until. This is insane. And I got a question. T-Mobile and MGM, when are you going to build a real fucking building out here so we're not in a tent? This is crazy. How long has this been going on and we're in a fucking tent still? What did he say? This summer? Huh?
Dana's mad about the facility that they got going on there.
For Canelo Crawford?
Oh yeah, they're gonna build one for Canelo Crawford.
So, great question. Both those kids looked dynamite tonight. It was a great fight. And I don't know what you were asking me about Payton, but he looked incredible. And yeah, I'm excited to see.
Yeah, there's like a plane hovering over the media center.
Him grow and compete here. And thank you, sir, for making a great last question and not making me regret it to take it. Happy 4th, everybody.
All right. Well, there's Dana White right there, wishing everyone a happy 4th. So, yeah, I think after that, the next one is Pantoja, I believe. Okay, so all right. A couple of things I want to say before I leave out, man. It's been an awesome fight night once again. Made my second career high live stream tonight with UFC 317. So
we have 100 fighters in the American Top Gym. And
yeah, man. All right. So I'm gonna make my final closing statements and then we'll call it a night. All right. So thank you everyone who has tapped in for the live stream tonight. And let me tell you what I noticed tonight, okay? I noticed a couple of things, right? Sometimes you can't believe in all the hype, but sometimes you have to understand that there are people out there who know their worth, know their confidence, and know why they're confident. Ilia Topuria displayed that tonight. What he displayed out of everything that he had said he was set out to do was predicated on the hard work that he knows that he put in and the performance that he knows he could put up as a result of it. And sometimes that's going to be perceived by other people as rather cocky, rather arrogant, sometimes even self-centered or narcissistic or whatever. But whatever it was, here's something you got to understand, right? It's not narcissistic. It's not nefarious for somebody to know and understand their worth and know their capabilities. That's the best way to really put it. But with that in mind, that is all that I really have for you guys right now. Do not forget to like and subscribe. I hope I will see you guys in the next live stream, in the next video in the next content and whatever it is that I do on YouTube and anything MMA streaming related. This has been a great night of fights. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot from it. I will see you guys once again soon enough. All right. Well, thank you. Have a good one. Inshallah.